One of these treadmills feels like you've got more running space on it than the other one, and I will come back to that in a little while. One of the reasons why you don't see lots of variety of treadmills on this channel is because the 2450 is my favorite treadmill of all time. It's easy on my body. The fact that the software on these machines just continues to iterate the longer you own them. So imagine a time when my favorite treadmill of all time is now the underdog. I think this might get emotional. Now, before I talk about the areas where these treadmills are different, I want to talk about the areas where they're exactly the same. And the first place is with the motor. So both of these have a 4.25 continuous horsepower motor. The 2450 has it here in the hood, and the X24 has it here, down here at the rear of the treadmill, just because of the way that steep incline works. They've increased the power here by a considerable amount, taking up to 4.25 continuous horsepower. I'm not sure why they would do that, but more is better when it comes to motor power. Next is the walking belt or running belt. These both are 22 by 60 inches. And I think it's a really good addition. It was 20 inches before, making it 22 inches brings it in line with this one. And it's also a nice running experience having a little bit more lateral movement. Next are the displays. So from all the connected fitness equipment I've used, my favorite tablets of all time are NordicTrack 16-inch tablets and the 24-inch tablets. These are new for 2025 and these are really sharp, they're really responsive. I've got individual reviews of these machines, so I won't go into lots of detail about what's in them, but they're the best tablets I've ever used in their 16 and 24-inch iteration. And that takes me on to the software. They're both running identical software, iFit 2.0, and that has all the features such as these fantastic immersive outdoor workouts. You can watch Netflix if you've got a Netflix account, Amazon Prime, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and they both have two soundtracks. So you can have the trainer talking to you on one soundtrack and then listening to your favorite audiobook or Spotify on another soundtrack, both coming through the same sets of headphones. They both run Smart Adjust, so you can make adjustments in your workout and it will carry that through for the whole workout. And they both run Active Pulse. They both have the AI coach, so if you tell it your overall fitness plan, it will build a program for you, and when you come to these machines, the workouts will be there waiting for you. I will link to both these machines in the description. Whether you're buying or browsing, using that link helps support the channel, and I'll also put my 3 money-saving tips. So let's look at the differences, and also please forgive my camera angles. This treadmill here, the 2450, has a max decline of -3. So this is really good for working on different muscles, and it simulates actually going down a hill. It's a really useful feature. If I bring it up to 0, you should see it just change slightly. It is fairly subtle though. But if I take this treadmill up to its highest setting, this is +12. Things get a lot more difficult here. And this kind of simulates a fairly steep hill, not quite a hike, but a fairly steep hill. And I can make this harder by increasing the speed. Things are noticeably different on the X24, and that's because I'm now at -6, and this is a different experience. This feels like walking down a steep hill, and it's activating the same muscles as the 2450 does at -3, but at -6, I'm having to work more on my balance and also my stopping force. And as somebody who is, let's just say, an established adult, having the ability to brake means that I'm less likely to have falls as I get older. This is very good for that. This is actually me at 2.5 miles an hour on its maximum incline, and this is still fairly low impact. However, I'm getting one hell of a workout. And when it comes to immersive outdoor workouts like hiking, the X24 is significantly better at these than the 2450. This is tailored to me, this workout, so the machines are reading my heart rate and from my previous experience. So even though this one, the 2450, is on a 12% incline and the X24 is on 11.5, if I come down here, there is a noticeable difference in the steepness. And when I take them to their maximum settings, you can see there that this is a very different height to this. One area where the 2450 shines over the X24 though is with top speed. This has a top speed like most of NordicTrack's premium treadmills of 12 miles an hour. Now, I would say, if I'm completely honest, my max speed on a treadmill is probably 8 or 9. And when I say 8 or 9, I mean 6 or 7. But this will go to 12 miles an hour, which is the equivalent of a 5-minute mile, to give you some sort of context. The 2450 goes to 14 miles an hour. I don't know anybody who can go that fast. And that's the equivalent of a 4-minute, 17-second mile. So how useful this extra speed is on this will depend on you as an individual. The next thing is comfort. Now, if you see me running in the street, then you better run, because something is coming and I'm planning to be faster than you. So I generally do all of my running, or 99% of my running, inside and on NordicTrack treadmills. The reason being is I want to look after my joints and my body, and these are the most comfortable treadmills I've ever used. This has a run flex technology, and I've scored this since I've been reviewing these treadmills as a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. The reason being is I haven't used this treadmill. I would say that I was spot on with this. The feedback on this treadmill is excellent. It's springy enough to take the pressure off your joints and to give you a bit of a boost. And touch wood, I have never had an injury on a NordicTrack treadmill, and I'm prone to pulling a calf, having dodgy knees. So as a treadmill, the 2450 is exceptionally good. So this has got spring flex technology, and this mimics running on dirt trails. It's lovely and soft. You get really good feedback, really good spring back through to help you propel yourself forwards. But this is a 10 out of 10 treadmill. Commercially or domestically, I have never used a treadmill that has had such a good running deck as this treadmill. Now, if you're the sort of person who picks your phone up and then does that, then this is for you. Because although these both have 60-inch running belts, when I look at where I am on this treadmill, to put it at 4 miles an hour, I'm in the front third of this treadmill, and I'm 5'7". I don't have particularly long legs, but you should be able to see I'm in the front third, or I might run in the middle of this treadmill. However, on the X24, because of it needs extra space at the front for when the incline comes up, you might be able to see that I'm now more in the middle or back third of the treadmill, but still the same distance from the screen. So if you're somebody who likes to run at the back of treadmills, or you've got really long strides, so unusually long stride, you may find yourself at the back here. Now, when it comes to in-use length, I've put both of these treadmills the same distance from the wall. The X24, although bigger, is shorter. There's a good few inches difference there in length. Where the 2450 does have an advantage though, is that it folds. That is now very much a two-handed job. So if you're not a particularly strong individual, that might be a consideration for you. To bring it down, it's just a case of releasing the piston here, and it will just come down like a soft eject tape did in the 1980s. But considering treadmills are mostly dormant, you can see there's no height difference when the 2450 is folded, but there is a significant difference in how much room it takes up when it's not in use. So where the 2450 has a very reasonable 10-inch step-up height, just like a normal step, the X24 is nearly 40% higher at 13.6 inches. So that means if you're 5'7" like me, a medium height man, then you'll have to bring your leg to nearly right angles to get on this. So there's yet to be a day where I haven't either tripped up getting on this treadmill or got off it and gone. If you need to move a treadmill before you can work out on it, I would seriously consider not getting either of these treadmills, because neither of them are light. The 2450 weighs 150 kilos. I've got my notes because I can never remember the pounds weight. So that's 332 pounds. But I prefer moving this one to this one. So this one weighs 200 kilos or 445 pounds. And the weight distribution on this means the wheels are right at the front. I'll put the differences on screen, so feel free to pause this video if you want to recap what I've said. As mentioned, whether you're buying or browsing, my link in the description really helps support the channel, and I'll put my money saving tips there as well. So which treadmill should you buy? Well, opt for the 2450 if you want that space-saving folding design. I sometimes have a treadmill, a rowing machine, and a bike in here, and having the ability to fold this up when it's not in use just gives me that amount of space back. Now, this is sometimes called the Studio 2450 or the Commercial 2450. It's worth noting that this is not a commercial treadmill. There's a sticker on here that says it isn't. These are domestic use only. However, this does feel like a really high-end treadmill. However, you knew I was gonna say that. The X24 treadmill does feel like a really high-end premium, like commercial type treadmill almost. This is just a level above. I'm not talking down on this one. I really like this treadmill. I've been very happy with these treadmills, but this does feel like a more premium machine. It's hard to say really, but don't fear, because if you want to know more about the 2450, then just watch this video here where I have a really deep dive review of this treadmill. And if you want to know more about the X24 treadmill, then you can see my in-depth review here. I think you'll be very happy with either. However, you're not going to buy this one and then wonder if you should have bought this one. Until next time, see you soon.